A recent survey indicates that 67% of Koreans find cohabitation without marriage acceptable, while 52% still regard marriage as essential.
최근 설문조사에서 국민 67%가 결혼하지 않더라도 동거할 수 있다라고 대답했으며 52%는 여전히 결혼이 필수적이다라고 생각하는 것으로 나타났습니다. This is an interesting survey of people's conceptions of marriage.
Yeah, the survey actually had a lot of different questions. We kind of focused in on
The marriage part.
marriage
Yeah,
part here. So this is a report. It's a biennial survey, so done by Statistics Korea. So that means
Again,
every
yeah.
2 years they do this. They did it in May this year. So they wanted to discover Koreans' perceptions of family, education, well-being, living conditions, and so on. So they surveyed 37,000 people aged 13 and older. So as we said in the headline, 67.4% said it's fine for unmarried people to cohabitate.
Yep.
So cohabitate is a verb in this case. It means just to live together. Technically, we'll get to that after.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting part here is that this rate has actually steadily increased over the last 12 years.
Yeah.
So in 2012, about 46% of people said, yeah, that's okay. It kept going up slowly, 48% in 2016. Then it crossed that 50% threshold or level in 2018. 56% then said, hey, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Then we hit 65% in 2022.
Sure.
And now it keeps going up. So more and more people are finding that that's okay. That's very normal in Western countries to cohabitate before marriage.
You've been doing that. I mean, like the Western
For a long
world has been
time,
doing
right.
that for a long time. But here in Korea, even in my lifetime, and I'm in my 40s, so, I haven't lived, a very, very long time. But even in my lifetime, I've seen a big change in the perception of living together with your boyfriend or girlfriend.
I've seen it over the last 10 years. Like
Okay.
I've noticed because I did
there
it.
you go.
I'm not ashamed to say.
Before you got married?
Yeah, before I got married. I always said,
Okay.
like, you never, who buys a car without taking it for a test drive?
Well, there you go, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You gotta, and that's, I think,
Not
what
to
a
say that people are like cars, but
but the
I know
idea is,
yes, yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're making a huge decision. You got to see if you can live together, and that's
Sure.
what people are. It seems as though that's what people are starting to agree with in Korea as well.
But I guess, being Asian and, we have been more, traditional in that sense. So as you said, maybe even as close as 10 years ago, or I would say 20 years ago, people weren't that open to that. Or even if they were living together with their boyfriend or girlfriend, they would maybe hide the fact and keep it a secret.
Oh, yeah, my wife did.
And so a lot of people would frown and look down on that kind of thing. But I guess now, as we're seeing here, nearly 7 out of 10 people are saying, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. And a lot of people are doing it.
Right.
And they're proud. And they're, no one's really hiding it these days.
Yeah.
So a huge change. 자, 지금 얘기한 것처럼 인식, perception이 많이 바뀐 것 같아요. 그래서 이게 biennial survey라고 했는데 2년에 한 번씩 실시되는 설문조사라는 뜻입니다. 역시 통계청에서 이렇게 설문조사를 실시하게 되고요. 18세 이상 한 3만 7천 명 정도를 대상으로 설문조사를 실시했더니 67%가 결혼하지 않고 동거해도 괜찮다라고 얘기했대요. 이게 계속해서 요 퍼센티지는 올라가고 있는 양상입니다. But what's interesting is about half of the respondents said that they still think marriage is essential.
Yeah, they said they at least think it's necessary,
Yeah.
right? And 41.5% said it's a matter of choice. I don't care kind of
Sure.
thing, right?
Got it.
And then 3% said it's not necessary.
Oh, okay.
So that was quite interesting.
That's
now,
lower than what I expected, actually.
very much lower. And some of the interesting things here is they talked about how women are more pessimistic about marriage than men, especially single women. So 58% of men said marriage, and this is just not all men. 58% of men said marriage is necessary. 47% of women said it's necessary. Now for single, 41% of single men had positive views of marriage. They wanted to get married. But for single women, only 26% had positive views of marriage.
There's a big gap there.
That is huge. And even for the men, like it's less than half of single men. Only,
그러네요.
don't have positive view of it, but only a quarter of single women.
네, 지금 사실 항목이 굉장히 많기 때문에 전부 다 다룰 수는 없는데 we are looking at just a few of the things that were surveyed here out of many, many. 근데 그중에서 보면은 결혼에 대한 인식이 남녀에도 큰 격차가 있네요. 물론 5명이 넘진 않지만 10명 중에 한 4명 정도의 남성이 결혼에 대해서 긍정적으로 본다. 근데 여성은 10명 중에 한 2명 정도만 그렇다라고 하고요. 결혼을 꼭 해야 된다라는 응답자도 남성은 10명 중에 6명, 여성 같은 경우에는 10명 중에 한 5명 정도가 이렇게 본답니다. All right, so what is cohabitation?
That's when you live together, you share a home. It's most often used to describe a couple living together who aren't married. But technically, you could use it if you're talking about roommates.
Yeah,
you cohabitate with
the
people.
word itself just means living together.
Yeah, to means with different people. Or together, like cooperate, for example.
네, cohabitation은 동거라는 뜻입니다. 자, 그래서 여기서는 cohabitation without marriage, 그러니까 남녀의 동거가 되겠죠. And if something is essential,
absolutely necessary, very important.
꼭 해야 된다.
Water is essential for our survival.
Yes.
Think about the kids doing the exam. It's essential to get a good night's sleep before the exam.
Yep, exactly. Essential이라는 것은 반드시 해야 된다. 필수적이다라는 뜻입니다. Here's the headline again. A recent survey indicates that 67% of Koreans find cohabitation without marriage acceptable, while 52% still regard marriage as essential.